Okay, so maybe I'm exaggerating just a little bit. It's not like I full out disappeared, like my accounts weren't there or anything. Like my accounts were still there. I just wasn't active at all. Like I literally just deleted the whole Instagram app off my phone and wasn't on there. But now that I'm starting to feel like it's time to re-emerge again, I actually checked and saw that some of y'all had sent me messages. And then there's like a slew of WhatsApp and iMessage messages like asking, yo, where you at? You good? So I figured I'd show a sign of life. So yes, we here, we good. And I would kind of take you through like where I've been at. All right, so basically here's what happened. By now you should know that I pretty much went all in on my content creator dreams. Like I dropped everything just to do this. And in July, I kind of started to feel like just over it. I don't really know how to put it in words. And actually this feeling was really old. Like I had been feeling kind of over it for a while, like just feeling like I needed a break. But because I went all in, I was like, well, girl, you gotta like, we gotta keep this machine going because like, how you gonna live? How you gonna make a living? And so in July, I was like, okay, just get it together. I started this 10K steps a day challenge on Instagram. I think I opened it up to here too, but like I said, I was already feeling, I guess the word is burnt out. I was already feeling away. So I never even like followed through on this side, but on Instagram, it was up and running. So I honestly did that 10K step challenge because I figured it could help someone, but also really and truly, it was just because it gave me a reason to show up, right? And was that I feel like there was a fly. Anyway, it gave me a reason to show up. So I was doing that, but then somewhere around mid-July, I really was just feeling like, I'm not feeling this. And so basically I just stopped engaging altogether. And then a few days later, like I completely deleted the app off my phone because I just felt like weird going in to check, but I wasn't participating, I wasn't creating, and I really try my best to avoid just randomly scrolling because I really think it interrupts the creative process. What am I saying? Yeah. So I deleted the app off my phone, and probably like a few days into just not having the app on my phone, not being on Instagram, not going into, sometimes it feels like you open that app and it's like you enter some weird vortex, and it's just a vortex of too much, depending on where you're at. So anyway, a few days into not having it, I just felt so much lighter. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna chill here for a minute. It's like, I just kind of felt called to just be off of it for a little bit. And so because I was off of it, I was like, let me just take a full opportunity to just take a break and recalibrate. So that's basically what happened. I went through all that because I figured maybe you could relate, maybe not. If you could relate, let me know in the comments, just because, yeah, another thing that I think that I want to do after having had this experience and like sort of being on the other side of it is maybe hosting like a social media detox type thing, just because a lot came through, I think. Yeah, no, not I think, a lot definitely came through. So there's definitely a benefit to it, and I'm really glad that I did it. So anyway, if you see me looking off or like looking down like this, it's because I have my computer here with notes, because I'm trying to, you already know, sometimes we be a little bit verbose and we be going on more than we need to. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about where I'm at with everything now. So you know that one of the main purposes of this channel, in addition to delivering original content, is to really bring you into my process mentally and emotionally, like sort of just give you a window into how I'm thinking about things, especially because I literally quit everything to do this and just really like go all in on myself and follow my dreams. So while I was on this hiatus, I basically started to take a hard look at everything I had created on YouTube up until now, right? Because really and truly, YouTube is like my baby. Like I have accounts everywhere, but I really like, there's something really special about the YouTube community that you just don't get in other places, right? So if you're here, then just know that you're one of my faves. So anyway, looking at everything just started to, it just had me remember like what I wanted for the channel, what I wanted you to get out of it, what I wanted to get out of it, and what I wanted for us, like in general. And then that set me down a huge rabbit hole of like studying, organizing, re-strategizing, to essentially kind of, I guess you could say, equip myself for this moment right now, like coming back. So in terms of my thought process, basically where I'm at is I am working to re-strategize and adjust my approach for two reasons. One, I want to more easily like find our people, because my vision for this channel is not just like you and I communicating. Of course, that's like the first line of communication, but also I want like us, like as a community, like all of us to be communicating with each other, because even when you leave me comments, I feel like I learned so much from you. So I feel like if other people come, like the rest of our people that just vibe similarly to us, they can learn from you too, and you can learn from them, and vice versa. And then two, I really just need to work on my consistency, or rather the way that I really want to put it is that what's the word? I found this like really perfect phrase for it. A window for opportunity would be with my consistency. And I think like this year, honestly, it hasn't been terrible, but I really am working on, like, as I'm working through ideas and like how and what I want to present to you, I also am working on sort of my production process, right? My creative process and my production process, which literally the goal is to get it to move like a machine, you know, but also honor myself and my own flow. So just trying to figure all that out so that I can deliver consistently, because I know that I have this channel because there are people that I'm supposed to speak to directly, and I need to be doing that consistently. So, and then another thing too, it's so funny because I feel like I've been so nervous about like this first I'm back video, like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? Like, how should I say? Should I leave this in? Should I take this out? Whatever. But one of the things I was thinking about was like, dang, like you're always talking about consistency. Like what is getting in the way, or like what's something that could get in the way? And I was like, oh, I definitely have to tell you this, because when I thought about it, I was like, wow, this could probably be like helpful for me, but also for someone else. Anyway, the point is, y'all probably know that I'm very consistent in the gym. I've been that way for pretty much my whole life, because I've been an athlete my whole life up and through college. And then after, I just like continued in that way of being, right? And when I thought about it, I was like, you know what's funny though? I think people that are looking to be consistent in the gym, they see people that are consistent and think that they go into the gym and kill it every time. And listen, there might be some like really real fitness phenoms out there that you go in the gym and you kill it every single time. Every single session is amazing. You come out, you be like, yes, that was great. But for the rest of us mere mortals, every session that I go into the gym isn't like the best session, you know? A lot of times I would say like maybe somewhere between 60 and 75% of the time, I'm really just there going through the motions, right? Not because I don't want to be there, but because like, you know, maybe I'm not recovered, or maybe I'm a little bit tired, or maybe my mind is somewhere else, or whatever the case might be, but I make sure that I show up anyway. And then there are those other 40 to 25% of the time, or 25 to 40% of the time, when I go in there and I'm like, yo, I killed it, baby. I'm ready for the Olympics, you know? So I was thinking about that, and I was like, hey, you know what? What if I just applied that here? And I think that's been one of my fears when it comes to like the flies back out here. I think that's been like one of my fears. One of the issues around the consistency is that I feel like every time I upload, it needs to hit, period, right? And you know, one, we're just not necessarily in that place just yet. And two, I think there really is something to be said about just showing up, right? Like once you get to the gym, you're gonna do something, right? You're gonna do something, and that little bit is going to like build up over time. And I have proof, right? Like physically, like things that I'm able to do and whatever, I have proof of that. So I'm like, why don't I just apply that here? So yeah, that was just a random aside, but I thought it was, I thought it would be helpful. Oh, okay. So another thing that I realized in this time is that in addition to sort of like documenting my process and stuff like that, I'm really like developing a whole life philosophy. That probably sounds like super heady, but when I say that, I mean, I'm essentially like documenting, but also creating a specific approach to life, right? And actually, let me just, I wrote this on my little whiteboard. Yeah, I've seen this whiteboard before, I think. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that. It might not, there we go. It might be focused. You may be able to read it, but I'll go through it with you. So basically, the other day, and this is what I was talking about, where so many things have, I'm sweating. So many things have just been coming through ever since I took this time off, because I really feel like it helped me to just take more time with God. Like I feel like I always make time with God, but I think when you're not distracted by the pressure to, oh, I gotta upload something or whatever the case might be, it changes like the way that you're able to communicate, just because you're more present in it, I think. Anyway, the other day I got this download and I was like, oh, wow. So basically I wrote out like things to document, right? And essentially it is completing my life of maximum fulfillment, which I've talked about so many times, but never really gone into it. But basically life of maximum fulfillment is exactly what it sounds like. It's the life that makes you feel the most fulfilled, right? So everything that you're doing is bringing you fulfillment in your day-to-day life, right? And I think I've defined this for you before too. For me, why am I feel like I'm just so excited, like we haven't talked in so long that I'm like tripping over my words. But for me, life of maximum fulfillment was 3 things. It was being fully in my purpose, right? So for me, that means like the work that I'm doing is the work that like God put me here to do, essentially, right? And that's being here with you. That's like showing you how I'm thinking through things, how I'm sort of like really following God's call, and like making decisions based off, I guess you could say, spiritual logic as opposed to, I don't know, societal logic, whatever the case might be, right? So anyway, it's my purpose to show that and bring you into that process so that hopefully you decide like, you know what, let me also do what I know that I was put here to do. So that's one, being in my purpose, fully in my purpose. The other thing is being with my person. So like my soulmate, or yeah, the love of my life, like that. And then the last thing is just, it probably sounds it actually doesn't matter how it sounds. It's just to be financially abundant, right? We talked about this already. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, none of that. So now it's about like working on thinking bigger. Oh gosh, my mom's calling me. I'm gonna have to talk to you later, mommy. Okay. Working on just like thinking bigger and realizing that abundance, wealth, prosperity, all those things are like literally your birthright. But I want to actually like experience that in the physical. And that's really where we're at. I think that's what I've been like struggling to sort of figure out how to put into words. And I don't know why. I think it's just because I've been making it more complicated than it needs to be. But anyway, on the board, I wrote that, you know, before I used to say I'm going from 0 to hero, and I was talking about that in like a financial standpoint, right? Because we're at the point now where, yeah, I'm in my purpose's work. Now it's proving to you that when you are in your purpose, everything else just falls into place, right? So the finances falls into place. Your love life falls into place. Lord, y'all gonna hold on one second because my mother's calling me. This is the 3rd time. Hi, Mom, what happened? I'm filming a YouTube video. So anyway, I feel like we went all over the place, but we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. So yeah, it's really about documenting the process of getting to financial security, stability, and abundance while fully being in your purpose, doing the things that you love, like waking up every day and feeling like, yeah, there's a reason for me to do this, right? Not just randomly doing a job just for the money, if that makes sense. But having the money come as a result of the fact that like you're in service to God, right? Like you're really doing the thing that you was put here to do. I also want to show you kind of like, obviously where I'm at. So like, this is an example, how how I got here, right? So kind of like the backstory, because I think that a lot of you that will eventually find this are gonna be somewhere in that in that space where I've been, right? And trying to get here or just beyond here, right? And also kind of like where I'm coming from, because it's like there was a period before I even got onto this path, if that makes sense. So sharing all of that with you. I'm trying to see, monetizing my greatest asset, unique energy. Look, that's how I make people feel. Using my greatest gifts and talents alone. Yeah. This note, the reason why I wanted to go through that is because there was some important things that I wrote down. But I think another part of being in your purpose is you're doing something that recruits your greatest gifts and talents. Those things are like divinely, they're put in you with divine intent, right? That's directly from God. It's completely unique to you, and it's sort of like the things that only you can do the way you do them, right? And then honestly, the rest of it is just showing you how I'm going to do this, right? Like how I'm going to go from quote unquote zero to hero, how I'm going to now step into the financial abundance of my life of maximum fulfillment. And the way that I'm doing it, two things. One, subconscious reprogramming, which I actually just started working on that process. So haven't started documenting it just yet, just because I'm figuring out a lot of things, but we'll get into that eventually. And then just sort of like my lifestyle, right? From this lens, the things I prioritize, health, training, spirituality is a big one. Even like taking this time away, right? I'm actually working on a isolation series because, like I said, yeah, I took time off from social media, but I really took time off from the world. Like I wasn't really communicating with friends or anything like that. Like I was very much to myself. And I think a lot of that has to do with like coming into my gifts as an empath and just like learning what and why boundaries are important. And also like learning how to move through the world and interact with people. Which sounds weird, but like as an empath, you know, like if you're an empath, you already know, like you take on a lot of what other people around you are feeling, right? You walk into a room, you already know what the energy is, and it can affect your energy if you don't know how to properly sort of wield that gift of empathy. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Also, if you're an empath, let me know in the comments, because I also feel like those are the people that I'm talking to as well. Like those of us that are coming into this gift and figuring out like how it works for our purpose. So, okay, this is going on really long, so I'm gonna look at the notes real quick because I wanna make sure that I'm not here talking to you forever. Yeah, oh my God, I think we got to the end. I think there was just one thing that I wanted to tell you about, basically like what I've been, you're probably like, well, okay, so what have you been doing up until this point? Up until this point, I think that I've just been experimenting. I think I've just been starting before I feel like I'm ready, just kind of facing the fears of uploading. Like sometimes it feels very overwhelming, and it doesn't have to, and part of it is because of that whole perfectionist tendency that like this video gotta hit, right? But also testing different things to see like, okay, like what is kind of moving, and also finding my voice and how I want to present everything, right? So trying different methods of like just telling the story and bringing you into it, just because that's a big part of the philosophy. So I had to do that so that you could see it too. But now we're at the point where I want to start graduating from that and really like just creating something that's a little more continuous, if that makes sense. So even if the topics seem random, I want them to be a little more connected so that, I guess just so that you can get the most out of it, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm back. I'll be more back as the month goes on. But really and truly, the other thing I wanted to say is that I'm always here. It's just that if you don't see me on the screen, it's because I'm in the background, like, you know, doing stuff like this and just getting my mind right and just making sure that whatever I'm doing is like actually bringing you some type of value. So that is that. Also, if you ever want to hit me up, because I saw that some of you did hit me up while I was away, but I wanted to let you know that I actually started a completely new Instagram, because remember I said that there is something very special about the YouTube community, and it's very different from like, excuse me, the Instagram community. So I opened a new Instagram that is gonna be like a space for us, a space for me to continue to sort of like create this content that's going to help us to get to our life of maximum fulfillment, to help get us in our purpose, things like that. It will also be a space where, you know, we could like exchange messages back and forth, because you can actually DM there where you can't DM here, but the comments is always open. So definitely drop a comment if you want to, you know, chat back and forth, or if you don't have Instagram. But if you do have Instagram, hit me up. It's my new page. It's Judine St. G. So pretty much just like this name here on YouTube. Yeah. Also, don't be alarmed. There's no content there. Everything is zero. Zero posts, zero followers, zero following. But that's because I wanted to like save it until I could share it with you, because the space is really for us, you and I. So, yeah. Other than that, you know, let me know what you've been up to. What's new with you? I feel like I let you know what's new with me for the most part. It's been, I feel like this was a little bit all over the place, but I just needed to get this out. And I think I have been agonizing. If you don't understand, though, you don't know how long I've been spending on this. You can't even see, but anyway, on this little script or whatever. And I didn't really follow the script, but I just needed to look at it to remember notes, because there were some really important points that I wanted to bring up. So hopefully you got something out of it. And I think like if you're meant to be here, you definitely did. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Look out for the isolation series that's coming next. And yeah, that's it. Bye. My bad. I know we usually leave with a kiss every time. So